My name is Lefteris, and I will be talking to you about a problem that has really been bothering me for quite some time, that most of the apps that we have today are not really made for us, but they are taking advantage of us, and they serve mostly their creators or, at worst, their investors. So this talk is about a different kind of app, that I like to call aligned apps. It's my first time in Web3 Summit. It's a very nice venue, like very different. So for those of you that may not know who I am, I'm Lefteris Karapetsas. I've been in Ethereum since 2014. I started here in Berlin. I still live here and work here, but I started as an Ethereum developer. I got hired first by Gavin Wood, who later continued again created Polkadot, right? I worked in the Solidity compiler and the C++ client, and later I joined Slockit and created this thing that probably you guys know, the DAO, and helped with the cleanup afterwards in both the Ethereum and Ethereum Classic chains. Later, I worked on payment channels, specifically Raiden, and Raiden network was supposed to be for Ethereum what the Lightning network is for Bitcoin, but it didn't catch on. As we know, Ethereum is scaling right now through side chains, like L2s. And at the same time, I've been the founder of Rodkey. So talking about applications, what is the status quo today? Today, most apps basically do not really work for us. They run on someone else's cloud. Almost everything that you will see is an application that lives on someone's server. They don't really explain to you how they work. They are mostly closed source, and they either sell your data to advertisers or mine it and profit with it somehow. Be it TikTok or a wallet with telemetry inside, it's always the same kind of deal. Even in crypto, like we really like to say that, oh, no, it's not like that in crypto. We have, we're in control. Our keys are self-custodied. But is our data under our custody? Is like the place where we can get the data, the indexes, the RPC nodes, the entire infra? This, in many chains, especially the Ethereum world that I come from, they have actually moved to the cloud. People can with very big difficulty, run their own infra anymore. So both in Web 2 and in Web 3, we're coming into this kind of new feudalism, right? But instead of lords and lands, we have right now platforms and data. We are promised convenience in exchange for our freedom. We live in these platforms that somehow we give them our agency in return for free services. And these platforms, what do? They monetize every click, every scroll, every moment of your attention is basically farmed and packaged into nice, neat products for advertisers. We have basically given up our freedom for convenience. This is what I like to call digital serfdom. We've basically just given up everything in order to just have convenient apps that lock us deeper and deeper into their ecosystem. I think that the biggest problem is that this change happened slowly, gradually. We have actually quite gotten used to it. This is by now the standard. Instead of being something that we should fight against, it happened so slowly and gradually that we're used to it. But perhaps right now it's time to wake up and think a little bit about who the apps that we use today actually serve. In DeFi, right, we started like 10 years ago trying to create this new utopia where, transparency, decentralization, like we wanted to create this finance that allows the user to be self-sovereign. Looking at what we've created, there is a lot of nice stuff, but if you look behind the curtain, you will actually start to realize that almost every DeFi app today is, in some sense, hosted on AWS. There is a lot of closed source applications. There are even apps out there that are calling themselves DeFi and are entirely black boxed. So what does that mean? Haven't we basically just sort of recreated the exploitative Web 2 stack, just less user-friendly and much slower? What can we do? How can we go ahead here? We've seen the trap, but what if we really refuse to step into it? What if we had software that didn't work against us, but worked for us? So we can actually stop being data peasants living under the castles of big tech. We can follow the path of aligned apps. These are apps that basically try to respect our privacy, respect our autonomy, tools that are built for us. These are not dreams or vaporware. They do exist right now. They are built by people who care much more about your freedom than some engagement metrics. Let's look at what makes these aligned apps different and why they may be the future worth fighting for. So when I started first talking about aligned apps, it kind of evolved as a term, and people started asking me, so what do you mean by aligned apps? Something vague, aligned with what? Decentralization, aligned with privacy? How do you define it? It's actually much, much, much simpler than this. It's an app. An aligned app is an app that is aligned with you, with your interests as a user. They generally tend to respect your data. They do not track you. They actually run locally. Most of the functionality should be local. A really, really important thing is that they can survive the creators. Nobody can just flip a switch and say, OK, we're done. We sold the company. Bye. The app is no longer existing. The data is gone. This should never be able to happen with an aligned app. So how could we define one? There are many ways you could define an aligned app, but I would say there are 4 key principles. One, it should be transparent in what it's doing. You should be able to inspect it. You should be able to confirm that what the person that's making it is saying is true. So it should be open source. Number 2, it should be local first, which means that most of the functionality should be local. The data should be local. It should not leak. It should not collect any data without the consent of the user. It should absolutely not leak anything. So it should be privacy preserving. And finally, the business model, and there should be one because you can't survive on handouts, should be sustainable. It should not be based on exploitation of the user. Just like with everything else, alignment is not binary. It's not like an app is aligned or an app isn't. There is, in one end of the spectrum, we have the Metas and the Googles of the world, so full surveillance capitalism. And as you slowly go towards the right, you start to see more aligned applications that are local first, transparent, and they work for the user. Your job as a user and as a builder of applications will be to go more towards the right side of this spectrum. I would be amiss to not mention the application that my team and I have been building since 2017 when we are talking about aligned applications. So Rotkey is what we've been building, and it's a portfolio tracking, accounting, and management tool. Its story is the story of almost every app that is really useful. It's a story of something that serves a need. Back in 2017, I think, I just decided that, OK, I've been in crypto for a few years. Now I need to figure out what the hell should I do with my, to understand what have I done in the past 3 years. What did I do? The Finanzamt here in Germany started knocking on the door and saying, hey, so taxes, how do you do that here? So I Googled and I see bitcoin.tax. OK, that sounds good. Let me download it. Oh, it's a website. It's weird. They started asking for all of my addresses, CSV imports, and they say, OK, you just give all these to me, to us there in the website, and we will calculate and give you a result. As an individual, not even a developer, when I see this, I'm like, you really can't be serious. You can't be serious that I have to upload my most sensitive financial data in crypto to a third-party website. Yet, even 8 years later, this is the standard. It's insane. So this is how Rotkey was built as an answer to this. A place where you can do all this tracking, accounting, and management of your data locally. You don't share this very, very sensitive financial data with anybody. We have seen how much violence and how many attacks have been against crypto people. So this is not something to play with. And it's an application that's built for you and not to just make profit for a VC. So what are the alignment credentials of the application? As I mentioned, data are stored locally. It's 100% open source, AGPL, so whatever I say here, you can just go inspect the code and confirm that I'm not lying to you. We never share data with anybody else. Any statistics that we may gather, they are always opt-in, and by default they are not there, which creates difficulties in developing the app, but that's a different subject. It can run offline. The asterisk there is because we need to improve there. Sometimes it breaks down because we need to make improvements there. And the app is funded by you guys, the users, finding it useful and not by exploiting your data. So quickly going around and how it looks, it looks like this. It has the dashboard, which gives you a bird's eye view, hence the bird, of your portfolio. You can see your exchange balances, your blockchain balances, like Substrate chains are supported, only Kusama and Polkadot, EVM chains, Bitcoin chains, and then your manual balances. Like if you have you can put your bank balance, you can put if you have a car there, if you have real estate, like a very expensive painting, I don't know, whatever you want, just track it all. And then you see a beautiful net worth graph of your entire net worth over time. I mentioned chains. So Rotki is like this. The core of the app is this modular decoders that gather data from all the chains, Substrate, EVM, Bitcoin, all the exchanges, and they feed them through decoders that in the end spit out this kind of human-readable events. And this list of events is the core of the application. It's a huge list. It's the bigger, the more addresses you have, the more time you have been in crypto. And what's beautiful is that this is filterable. You can just filter by address, by protocol, by chain, filter by a time range. So for example, if you say, I want all of my address, let's say Lefteris.eth, that worked in the Aave protocol with DAI in the last month. Put these filters, export, and then you get a nice CSV list of those events. You can get nice statistics also. Per asset, amount and value over time for an asset. For example, this is the Kusama token. You can see that the brown line is the amount. This is staking. Over time, it's increasing, but unfortunately, the value decreases. The user here, in this example, for example, didn't sell at any point. It just continued. You can see other nice statistics such as how is your net worth distributed over locations, so how much you have in an exchange, how much you have in chains, and in which chains, etc. Or how exposed you are in an asset, how much you're exposed in ETH, in Bitcoin, in Kusama, in Euro, etc. And you can get very cool insight by processing all these events. So how much you have in an exchange, how many trades you made in an exchange, how many transactions per chain, how many transactions per protocol, what were your busiest days, and other cool stuff like that. We also have views per protocol. So this is for Ethereum staking, we have for Liquidity, we have for other EVM protocols. And lately, this is something that many of our users have been asking for, and we also wanted it ourselves for us, is they don't want to get out of the app, so we started to tend more towards a management app. So you can now, even today, use Rotki to send tokens or ETH, only for EVM chains for now, but we want to also go for Substrate and Solana. And to be able to actually do actions on-chain from inside the app. So that's a little bit about Rotki. Now continuing on the aligned apps, here you can just replace the word Rotki with any aligned app. I wanted to show you this kind of nice comparison table. If you've ever looked at a pitch deck, you will see something like that, much, much prettier, where the aspiring entrepreneur will just show you a list of attributes and will tell you that, OK, see, my app is great. Here, check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. The competitors, XXX, no, no, not good at all. Please give me money. So this is what every pitch deck eventually boils down to. If you show something like that to your typical VC, they will notice something. They will see that your aligned app has everything local, so there's nothing in the cloud. Hence, it's private. It's transparent, so it's open source. There is no moat here. You don't monetize the user data. You don't sour them with ads. It starts being problematic for the VC. There is no tracking. So wait, as a VC, when you typically look at this, you are trying to find for something that you can capture, to create a moat around an application or a service so that you will eventually do the unicorn 100x and sell out. You don't care about the end users. So when a VC sees something like that, they say, this is not investable. This makes no sense for me. When an end users look at this, it's like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I want. This is what I would like every app to act like. So what I'd like to generalize about aligned apps that I've noticed over the years is that they are not attractive to your typical. There is exceptions, and there is also good angel investors. There are people who will invest in aligned apps. But 99% of your typical VCs will just not touch this. It's not attractive. I explained why. But for the exact same reasons that an aligned app is not attractive as an investment to a VC, they are perfect for users. Basically, you take the problem that the VC sees, you flip it on its side, and then you suddenly realize that, hey, this is what I want. This is how apps should be built. Because your typical VC application is a free application. You will be told, if you ever try to raise money to create a new idea, don't monetize. Don't monetize early, don't monetize even until Series C. Some people go really crazy. Just grow a huge user base and capture as much user data as you can. But what this creates is a free product. And it's a cliché by now. I mean, we all know it, but it's so true that it has to be repeated until it gets burned into everybody's mind. When the product is free, you are the product. We all have heard this. It's really true, though, and it's something that we really need to be careful about. Because such products are built just to harvest your data, sell it to advertisers. It's basically optimized not for you. You are not the main target. The main target is how they will capture your data and create revenue out of it. So most of the times it's advertisers or data brokers. And of course, they try to lock you into their ecosystem by not allowing you to get out. You know, it's free, they don't owe you anything. Why would they let you go? The more time you stay there, the better it is for them. They entice you in, and then they don't let you go. But contrast that with the other kind of apps, the aligned apps that I talk about, but they're apps that you need to pay for. They respect you because you are the customer. If you are happy, they make money. If you are not happy, they don't. You get your data, like it's local, it's with you. It's built for you, not for an advertiser. There is no lock-in. At any point that you want to leave, you can just press export and take it with you wherever. And generally, the incentives are aligned between the user and the builder of the application. But, and this is a very, very big but, you have to pay for these applications. Why? Because they don't have any other way to make money. All the extractive ways of making money are, by definition, not something that they can or are willing to do. So a really, really important thing is that if we want this kind of apps that work for us, we have to get out of this misconception of the app is free, so I should just be using free apps. I can't explain to you how many times I've heard people just say, why would I use Rotkey, Fileverse, Signal, or whatever? It's not as good, and it's actually asked me to pay. So if you want apps that work for you, then you really have to be willing to pay for them. Because using misaligned apps have very, very steep consequences. From funds that are lost when a misaligned exchange gets screwed, like FTX, we all know what happened there, to data leaks. Just one I found the other day here is this Tandem wallet that I don't even know or want to know how they managed to expose seed phrases via email. What kind of application that was in order to be able to actually leak your seed phrase over an email. To censoring, something that's really, really ugly in the EVM world, and that all the blue chip front ends, it started from this tweet. We saw it by Banteg in 2021, if you can't see the date. He notices suddenly that, in a Uniswap front end, back in 2021, suddenly the address and your IP are linked to an arcware called TRM Labs. Of course, for compliance reasons, right? But this has now kind of become the standard of the blue chip DeFi front ends. And the worst cost of using misaligned applications is loss of privacy, which loss of privacy can have many, many, many consequences. The worst of which is the many, many attacks we have seen lately, especially in France, over crypto users whose data were leaked and somehow their positions, like the locations, were found and they were either abducted or assaulted in order to extract money. So all this leads us to sort of a manifesto of how we as users and how we as builders should be building applications that are working for the user. So the so-called alignment manifesto. Number one, your data should stay in your device. Your most sensitive data should not be uploaded to any servers. The code should be open source. Number two, the code should be open source. There is no excuses for no open source code. We can talk about source available and open source. This is a different scenario, a different conversation. At least source availability should be for transparency for the user. Then, number three, you should build with privacy as the default. Privacy is paramount. We have seen in the previous slide what are the consequences of losing privacy. Number four, local first, cloud last. We're living in an interconnected world. We can't build apps that are completely offline, of course, but also not every keystroke should be a round trip through a server, as it has become with many cloud apps today. We should build for our users, not for our investors, at the expense of our users. The investors should and will make money, but only because and only if we are actually providing value to the users. And number six, the business model which should exist. You should always have a business model. Don't work for free ever. It should be sustainable, and it should not be based on exploiting your users. So there are many aligned apps. Rodkey is just what I'm working on. There is many more than this slide. We all know Signal. It is one such application for encrypted communication. Standard nodes, one for taking notes in a local first way, because most of the node-taking apps right now are in the cloud. KeePassX or Bitwarden for password management. PhotoPrism, they're actually here in Berlin. And they have this kind of Google Photos, but with some AI features, and it's decentralized and privacy-preserving and local first. To Omama Analytics, which gives you privacy-preserving analytics for websites or applications. There is many apps, but if you take the set of all apps in existence and then which of these are actually working for you and are aligned apps, you will see that this is a very, very, very small set. What we should strive for is for this to become the standard, not the exception. And how can this be done? Well, it can only be done if users are willing to use these applications. It all starts with you guys. It all starts with the users. It should go without saying, but you should strive to use aligned apps over any surveillance alternatives. You should support the aligned apps. So if they have a product that they are selling, buy it. Do they have donation address? Donate. Do they have a GitHub repo where you can access and create PRs if you're a developer? Then do them. Open issues, give feedback. Evangelize them, talk about them, spread the word. You can't, I mean, probably some of you can if you're builders, but if you are not, you can't imagine how much it means to a developer of such an application who basically puts their heart and soul into it to get either good feedback or advice or support from the users. Question what any app does with your data, especially the Googles of the world, but any app. Make it a habit to start asking them questions. Say, hey, where are you saving my data? How does it communicate? How does it go through the network? You will probably be negatively surprised by the answers that you will get, but the more people that question this, maybe, just maybe, we will get businesses build more apps that are working for you, more aligned applications. Generally, be vigilant. To the builders out there, whatever you build, if you build something that is exploiting the user data, just ask yourself, would you ever, as a user, if you weren't the builder of the app, would you use that shit? Probably not, right? So do not build something that exploits user data. Instead, your #1 mission should be to provide value to the user, not take advantage of them. This will make profit for you and your investors in the future. This is the long game. Also, strive for sustainability. This is a really, really important point. I can't tell you how many friends I've lost from this field who have burned out because they just didn't think of making money. They just had it as an afterthought because they just wanted to build. They had the dreams, I'm going to build this and that. Don't shy away from trying to make money because you will burn out. Your savings will run out at some point, and if you do not have a business model that is sustainable, you just won't make it. And we shouldn't lose any more good people. Generally, be vigilant. So alignment is punk. Remember, this is a rebellion. It's not a rebellion against regulators or banks, but it's against extractive corporations, VCs, or startups that want to build software that work against you and milk you for profit. So remember, alignment is punk, alignment is rebellion, and please stay aligned. In this QR code, you will find a link about Rotki, this Linktree thing where it has all the links for us. If you like what you hear, if you identify with any of those ideals, we are an open source company. We have an open source repo in GitHub. You can go try to contribute. If your contributions are really good, at some point we are also hiring. We would love to work with you. As a user, please use Rotki daily. Buy our premium subscription. We have been working in accounting for now 7, 8 years, accounting for crypto. So our team has started offering this bespoke accounting service, which is it's in the links there. You will see apps are not really plug and play. If you have tried any of the apps, including Rotki, you need to do a lot of customization, a lot of stuff. This may be difficult for some people, so we are also trying to offer this as a service ourselves. Generally, Rotki aside, try to spread the word for aligned apps. Try to spread the word about apps that are doing things for the users. And don't let yourself be exploited by the big tech overlords. So, yes, that's all. If you have any questions, I would love to hear them.